All right, so if you will remember last week, what we talked about are 3 categories of numbers. So we talked about rational is like our big category that all our numbers are falling in. And then I've got inside of that a smaller group called integers. And inside of that, a smaller type of integer called whole numbers. And those are just your whole numbers like you've been learning since kindergarten. Today we're going to dive in more on the integers. Okay, and we'll be spending several weeks on integers because we have to learn how to do everything with integers. We have to learn how to put them in order. We have to learn how to add them, subtract them, multiply, divide them. Everything with integers we have to learn how to do. And so a lot of this is new for you. So we're going to start at the very basics of what an integer is and some of the key words that tell us when it's a positive integer and when it's a negative integer. So on your little foldable, you have integers at the top, and you have 2 flaps. You have a positive flap and a negative flap. So we're going to, on the outside, write some examples of those numbers, just like we practiced doing last week. And then when we get to the inside, we're going to write some key words that tell us what we are, when the integers can be negative or positive. So on the very outside of your foldable, we are going to do this. Integers. The positive ones, does anyone remember what the special name for just our positive integers is called? Colton? Those are our whole numbers. Remember, whole numbers are still integers. They're a special kind, though. They're always whole numbers. So positive integers is just another word for whole numbers. So if you'd write that underneath your positive, so this is still on the outside. Your positive integers are whole numbers. So I'm hoping this will help you to get in your head even more that whole numbers are a type of integer, and integers are a type of rational number. They have both names. Okay? So whole numbers are just going to be your positives. So let's write some examples here of some positive integers. So our whole numbers could basically be any whole number. For example, 5. 2,243. 150. Yes, write any number down on the positive tab that are positive whole numbers, just as examples. So when you're looking back, you can remember what we talked about. Any other examples? It could be basically any number. Anyone want to add some? 72 could be one. Any others you want to add? Favorite numbers? 64. There we go. 12. And what do you notice about all of these numbers? Are there any fractions or decimals? No. Okay, whole numbers will not have fractions or decimals. Yes, sir. 600 what?
46.
646. Perfect.
77.
Okay, I think we're good on examples. If you want to add a few more to yours, go for it. Okay? Now, negative, these are going to be what I normally call integers. Now, whole numbers are a type of integer, but negatives don't have a special name. When I have a negative number without a fraction or decimal, that's what I'm calling an integer. So let's make ourselves a note just so we remember. So up underneath the integer, and I know we have a cut down it, but that's okay. We're going to write no fractions or decimals, because we want to remember the integers have no fractions or decimals. If it is, it's not an integer. So no fractions or decimals. That goes for the positive side and the negative side. No fractions or decimals.
I was like, it's cut in half, so I'm like adding over the half.
That's fine. Okay, so when we get to our negative integers, again, no fractions or decimals. This time they're all going to be negative. So Tyler, give me an example of a negative integer. Negative 24. Emily, give me one. Negative 3. Stormy, give me one. Good. Lindley, give me one. Negative 12. Rachel, give me one. Negative 22. Y'all like the 20s. Okay, it could even be up to negative 1,054. It could be up in the thousands and the millions and the billions. Sam? Negative 9,009. There we go. So again, you notice no fractions or decimals. That's what all of the integers have in common. Negative numbers are just called the integers. The positive integers, they have this special name. They're the whole numbers. Okay? Does that make sense? They're all integers, but the whole numbers are the positive ones. All right. So now what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to take your foldable and open up your first flap, and we're going to write the word positive on the inside. Okay? So we're going to open up our first flap, and we're going to write the word positive.